Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining in and a very warm welcome to this third session of Six Digits program, season 3. I hope you're enjoying the program so far. You've had a taste of your moderated sessions, 2 of them, and a bit of a taste of the unmoderated session as well. I think it'll be valuable if you can share your feedback with us. Today, once again, we are joined by our very own colleague, Sajid Aslam, who's going to take us through the today's content as well. But before that, let's very quickly pick up on some of the conversations that were taking place in the unmoderated session on Friday. So we are looking at the questions screen right now. I'm just going to share it with all of you, and I would want some people to raise their hands to make comments about what was their experience on Friday. There was a smaller number who joined us on Friday, but those who did, what was their feeling, and were they able to complete the task? Can you please first of all confirm if you can hear me loud and clear? Number 2, if you can see the questions dialog box. So if yes and yes, or if anybody cannot see it, yes and no. All right, Fazan, you should be able to see the questions box in a bit. Okay, questions box is not visible probably. Once again, see. All right, my screen sharing needs to be enabled. All right, now. Excellent, thank you.
We can see that, but can you enable for me as well? Right now, I can't see the questions. I can see from your screen, I can't access that.
All right. Let me do it. Okay. I'm going to make you a co-organizer. Yes. Okay. Got it? Yes, Ajit. You okay?
Yeah, I can.
All right, great. Thank you very much. So feedback, how has it been? How was the last week? What were the key takeaways? What was what was your learning from the session on Saturday? Were you able to write down your 30-second introduction? And we said that we're going to work on a digital version of it, which will be used for social media, and another version for yourself. And then we also discussed that we're going to discuss the question formation, which is the what and why questions as opposed to the how questions. And we saw a Shark Tank video as well, in which we saw how was the pitch being made, how was the pitch being kept high level, and what kind of questions were being posed, and how were the presenters steering the conversation. All right, so hand raises, please. I am looking at the attendees also. So yes, I can see some hand raises most probably. Ghulam Fareed has raised his hand. So I'm unmuting. Let's very quickly begin. Let's not waste any time. We have to very quickly move on to the next topic. So just 15 minutes for a recap and takeaways from Friday, and then we'll move on to the next topic. Yes, Ghulam Fareed, you have been unmuted. Can you unmute yourself and speak?
Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everyone. I hope everyone must be fine and will be enjoying good health. Can you hear me clear, sir?
Loud and clear. Please go on.
Yes, apart from the unmoderated session on Friday, it was quite a good experience. Everyone tried to participate about the 30 seconds introduction, which was even, clarified by Mr. Sujit. It should be very specific and, to the point, and everyone write down its own introduction. We share and we try to comment on it, and we also discuss the shark topic. And by considering the what and why, and we also consider the smart term in order to elaborate how it's working in this video. And so far it was good, and one of our colleague named Bilal, he was heading this session, so it was good.
Okay, thank you very much. Key takeaways. Uh, what did you take away from the conversation? Introductions. Were you able to do all those?
Yes, I was able to have my own introduction, and I share with all of the peoples, and now I am able to put it to my LinkedIn profile as well. And I also try to understand the what and why for the shark video.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Anybody else who has a comment? Anybody else has raised a hand? Thank you very much, Ghulam Farid. You can go back on mute. Anybody else with a comment, please? Hand raises Masood Naeem, unmuted. Please speak. Masood, you've been unmuted. You can speak now. Sorry, your voice is not clear. No, I think you can. You'll have to work on better connectivity, Masood. We can't hear you. Um, okay. Let me look at a few comments. No, Masood. Unfortunately, your microphone, internet connectivity is not good. We can't make out what you're trying to say. So please put yourself back on mute. Try and improve your connectivity and then come back, or in the meanwhile, share your feedback in the questions dialog box. Sajid, that's for you to begin. Coab is saying, can we do our today's hug moment, love yourself? So yes, why not? We discussed that this is very important. Um, I love myself, and I hold myself as well. I love me. I love myself. So thank you very much, Coop, for reminding. Uh, all right. Thank you. So let's move on to the agenda point, which was the question formation now. And what were your observations from the video? I noticed that very little time was set aside for discussion on the video on Friday. So what was your feedback? Again, raise hands and type in the comment if you have to. Sayyida Asif is saying we took some time to choose our moderator and limited number of members were participating actively. Bilal did a great job in moderating the session. We were able to discuss intros of a few members in detail. So, Sayyida Asif, from your comment, if I can say, not everyone participated. If that's right, we will have to change that. We will have to get more and more people to participate. Unmute yourself. I mean, see, the point of bringing you into the unmoderated session is you have the access to switch on your camera, you have the access to switch on your mic, you have the access to uh, to communicate actively. And that was the whole purpose as well. I mean, having written down the comment is just one part, but remember we talked about delivery as well. We talked about Amin Tufani, the way he was very confident, and his body language when speaking. So I think that is also an essential element of what we were learning. Okay. Yeah, so that was, I think that was needed. I hope those who have not been able to verbalize their 30-second introduction, they will be able to do that with their family and friends. Make it perfect. Keep the messages that we shared with you about the do's and don'ts of the introduction. Keep those in mind and try to improve it continuously. Okay, so Asif, you're going to come back to your comment, but in fact, my colleague Feroz, who's joined us today. He's going to look at um, the operational questions and he's going to answer those. But let's now start talking about our our video, the Shark Tank video that we had seen. What do you think was the proportion of what and why questions? How do we tailor or drive the conversation using these two types of questions? And I would want to bring in Sajid at this point as well. Sajid, if you can share your perspective, and I know you've seen the video also. So, what is your advice when talking about keeping the discussion high level, keeping the discussion focused on initially what and why, and not get bogged down uh, with how the how element, which is more operational? Yes, Sajid.
Thank you, Harun. Assalamu alaikum, and a very good afternoon, good evening. Uh, I think it's the way I operated and the way I learn most of the stuff is if we stay most of the time on a what and why area, if you can really figure those out, then there are 10 different ways to go through how part. So not necessary that you start with how, because how is the easiest link, practically speaking, if you know what you are trying to do and why you are trying to do that. Most of the time, if you start with how, you will end up with constraints and you will not have enough energy and motivation to overcome those constraints, because how will have constraint. How is the execution part? You will have a stumbling block somewhere. You will have a roadblock somewhere. So what you're going to do and why you should do that. If I'm not convinced enough and I'm not motivated enough, as soon as I hit the roadblock, I'll turn away and I'll move away from that, rather than really standing there and thinking about how I'm going to remove this roadblock and move on, how I'll find the alternate path, because I'm very convinced that my what and why are so strong that I should definitely achieve the end goal or the target there. So I think that's why what and why, spending initial time in figuring out what and why, and keep reminding you what and why here and there, it's important. Otherwise, how will not be able to generate that kind of passion and motivation or trust which is required to really achieve something which is way bigger than we do as a normal or everyday life. Arun. Arun?
So, sorry, I was trying to answer some of the questions, the comments being made. Exactly, and this is what we were discussing as well. That in order to tailor the discussion, you have to keep it high level. It has to be what and why. So, can you, from that video that you would have seen, pick up some of the situations where the conversation was kept high level? Can you figure out some of the conversation where the uh, the details, the operational details were avoided? What do you think? I mean, from both sides, from the presenter's side as well as from the sharks side as well. Yep. Any comments? Sajid, the people saying that if you can relate what and why with the sharks video.
No, I think I'll leave it to the participants right now to come up with something. I think that's important that they make an effort and try to figure out and read between the lines. I think it's the easiest way if we go with that. We can keep it as a homework if not available right now. But I think it's
Okay.
important when we read something and we watch something, we see beyond the obvious, something which is not said, something which is not acted, and we can really figure out that what was that, and really come out at least with the perception that what it could have been if it's done otherwise or different way. I think Mustafa has put it very eloquently uh, in the one of a comment here. I saw defining what and why side of
Why offers a purpose, cause, or
yeah.
belief, and how expresses the values that guide our actions and how we aim to manifest the higher purpose in action, and what refers to the results of those actions.
Yeah.
Hmm?
So
Yeah.
I think the if we are very clear around the purpose and we are very clear around the impact which that purpose or that direction can bring, then it's easy to really find those actions or alternate actions which can lead us to that impact. So if we are very clear on do things, we will find the actions and the alternate actions. There's another interesting concept where we talk about normally we have to stand by our principle, and if we can't, then change the principle. So this is not what we want to do here. So if we are going with the what and why, so we want to stick with what and why. If one action is not leading towards that what and why, then we will go with alternate action and not changing the what and why, or not changing the impact and purpose unless until it's really required. We evolve, we learn, but not changing that just because it's becoming difficult to deliver, right? So we should not be following the path. If it's difficult to follow the principle, then change the principles. So that's not something which we are talking about here.
Yeah. Okay. So the other day I was also looking at some interesting pitches on Dragon. I mean, I think the parallel of Shark Tank in the US is Sajid, what's the full name? Dragons in the UK, in
Yeah, I
Britain.
think it's right. But it's,
It's
I think it's
Dragon.
more famous with the Shark Tank, and
Hmm.
I think if I refer, I'll refer to the US one
Version. Yeah,
rather.
exactly.
But there are a
So
lot of other versions in the different countries.
true. So once again, I was noticing most of the pitches made, they were kept very high level, and some very finer details were very conveniently left out, and it was appreciated that way, by the by the investors also. So
It's Dragon Den. You're right,
Dragon Bid. All
Dragon
right.
Den.
Okay. Yeah. So that was also very interesting. Some videos that I watched there. So Dragon's Den, right? Yeah. Thanks,
DN.
Muid. Den. Okay. So thank you very much. I think that's all about our previous sessions. We'll continue to reflect back on these because from so far what we've covered, these two aspects. Number one, how to introduce yourself. And this time, I mean, those who have missed the sessions, I'm in a minute or two, I'm repeating on the takeaways. When you're reflecting, when you're talking about a 30-second introduction, you must reflect on your strengths. Use the right jargons, use the right terminology, keep the terminology high level, right? And then we looked at the survey results. We looked at what core skills and expertise are in demand now. And when you're talking about your strengths, you should be talking in the same terminology. So that was about your 30-second introduction. There were some don'ts as well. So for example, don't pile up conversations. If you have a lot of conversations in the same domain, just mention terms like I'm a professional accountant. That says it all about, all the qualifications that you may have had, about accountancy. Similarly, I mean, immediately jump to value. If you've been able to deliver a value, in your previous experiences, if you are experienced and you've done work with previous organizations, try to quantify it, or try, even if it is qualitative, try to mention the value that you have delivered as a result of your interventions, or as a result of your work. Keep it focused, and remember when we were talking about our introduction on social media also, we talked about different purposes for which one would want to maintain a social media presence. There were questions asked such as, I don't maintain a social media presence at all. What needs to be done? Should I do it? Is it? So we discussed that if you have one of those objectives as discussed, it is important that you have a social media presence, but then remember that purpose of having your social media presence, and don't mix up two different purposes. If the purpose is networking, the other purpose is sales, the two different ways of managing social media presence, therefore. So that's that was the key discussion around our 30-second introduction. The introduction has to be very, very powerful, punchy words, positive words, no negative terminology, and avoid using those terminologies which are now antiquated. So, for example, bookkeeping, so for example, payroll processing, etc. I mean, there are better terms for this, and therefore you should use them while introducing yourself. Then we went on to allude to the subject of asking the right questions. There are situations in which you should be asking these questions from the people in front, or when making the presentation, talking, preparing yourself for that presentation, ask yourself these questions. So that's the important part. And the purpose is to keep the discussion high level, keep the discussion at a level through which you will capture the attention of the person in front of you. Of course, going into too much detail may may disrupt that process, or otherwise, if such is the case where for example, a high level meeting has already taken place, now it is to be narrowed down, that is probably a situation where you could come prepared and to talk specifics. But in that case, be very, very prepared, and again, avoid unnecessary details as much as you can. So with that, I will now hand over to Sajid to take us to the next topic. And Sajid, is it going to be goal setting, or is it going to be further discussion on question formation?
Thank you, Harun. I think the goal setting and the specific questions are pretty much the same. If we cannot have those specific questions, we cannot have those specific goals either. It's very journal, and you can take examples from your everyday life, that when we talk about something, we talk about in more generic ways. Uh, with accountants, specifically accountants, they are supposed to be very independent and objective in terms of how they communicate, what they really share as an opinion, and how they are developing that opinion. So I think that's the back end process which always stay there for accountants specifically, and that's a one of expectation, that if something is coming from an accountant, that's a very reliable advice, because the journal concept, the accountants are trained, professionally trained and educated to really provide a very specific opinion or very specific guidance. So that's a background why we have to be more specific as compared to some other professions. And goal setting, when we talk about that, and generally, I think in a first day we also discussed that most of the time when we set a goal, we we do not try to bring it clarity, we try to keep it vague, because the more clearer we try to articulate it, it creates pressure. The more specific conversation you pick up, it's create pressure. To be specific, sometimes you just have to be quiet, you don't have enough to really contribute in a conversation, because you may not have those specific details. So I think these are the key challenges when we are talking about, or talk in a professional setting or in a personal setting, when we are building a conversation. These are the things which become a certain bottleneck for us most of the time. And there are a lot of people like myself who always have a temptation to talk, and we will talk, and we will keep talking for a very, very long time. But whether we are able to generate value with the conversation, or we are just filling the air or time there, and how much airtime I'm taking versus the rest of the people who are in the room, how much airtime they are taking, I think this is also important element. So let's come back to our very specific exercise. We tried that in our orientation and on a day one. Let's go back and try to be more specific. What are your goals? Why you want to have those goals? By when you want to achieve those goals? And how you are going to go about those goals? So let's start with the goal first. So what is your goal? why you have that goal, when you are going to achieve that, and how you are going to do that. So can we start with that in the question box? Very specific. And again, I'm giving you a generic example. The answers which are not acceptable. I want to become a CFO of a large MNC in 5 years' time. That's not an acceptable answer. So you have to be more specific around it. Unless until you are specific, it's very difficult to work it backward, right? It's very difficult to work it backward if you want to achieve that, what you need to do today, because there will be a journey towards that destination. You can't start it from anywhere. There has to be a point A and there has to be a point B. So you have to really specifically identify the point A right now, and you have to very specifically point out what the point B would be. So that's the goal. So from point A to point B, there is a journey, and that journey requires a certain effort. So unless until you define the point B very clearly, it's very difficult to really identify where you are right now. So let's look at some of the comments which we can see here. It's a very, very open-ended move abroad. There are 190 countries. We are talking Canada and UK. For higher studies, there are, I don't know how many disciplines, and PR. So you have to be clear whether higher studies or PR. Shakil, update my knowledge on an ongoing basis. What knowledge? Of a reputed audit firm? No. You have to really come up with the very specifics. Top 5 you are talking about. Currently, I am working as a manager audit in Crow Global Karachi, SC, on the basis of ACCA. UK offers MBA for ACCA, Canada offers PR. Okay, keep bringing it. Zara, there will be recording available. You will find in your email, there will be certain links available for the recordings. To be head of internal audit of top 5 MNC in Pakistan in the next 10 years. Let me pick up Fazan. Fazan, can you unmute yourself and let's see that if you can come online. Let's thresh it out. Fazan, can you raise hand so I can unmute you? To be head of internal audit of top 5 MNC in Pakistan in next 10 years. Fazan, can you raise hand?
Please, I've already unmuted him. Fazan is unmuted and he can speak.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Fazan, please. Okay, so Fazan, if for everybody, I'm just gonna reiterate your or read your goal. You want to become a head of internal audit of top 5 MNC in Pakistan in the next 10 years. Is it right?
Yes.
Okay. So what? If you will become a head of internal audit in a, let's say, Nestle in the next 10 years, so what does it mean for you?
It's an achievement for me.
Now, why it's an achievement? There are 10 other people who have done that in past. You are replacing somebody.
Okay.
What will happen if you will become that at that level in a 10 years time? So what will happen?
That will enhance my skills. I'll get more further opportunities.
And with the more opportunities, what will happen? What does
I'll get
opportunity mean?
opportunity mean that I'll have an, oh, we can say, mm, what can I say? Uh,
Better money,
Opportunity in a
better
sense,
status.
yes, the success.
Success is very different term. So apologies, I'm going through
No issues.
congestion, so I have to go through those cycles. Just so, what does it mean if you become a head of
Mhm.
internal audit? What you have achieved there?
Sorry.
So, if you are a head of internal audit of Nestle, so what you have
Mhm.
achieved there?
I have achieved my goal, like what I have want to become. I can
And
earn a better
your
money.
goal is to
I
become
can
a
have
head of internal audit with 10,000 rupees, maybe.
no. That won't make sense because
Okay.
when we go for a further career path, so everything increases. Our living style changes. Our you can
So
say
let me put another question to you. So
hmm,
you being offered an opportunity to become a head of internal audit in Nestle or Unilever or multinational, whichever you want,
hmm,
for let's say 1 million rupees, and you are offered the CFO role for 3 million rupees, and you are offered a CEO role for 5 million rupees in the same organization. Which one you gonna pick?
as I want to pursue within the internal audit, so I will going for the internal audit because
You,
it's my passion.
if these
So
three opportunities are offered, you will pick up head of internal audit for 1 million rupees, right?
yes, yes,
And you will let go the CEO and the CFO positions,
yes,
which are 3 and 5 million.
yep. Because only money is not everything. So that's depending on what the person perceive and how he want to be.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So I think this is the level of clarity which is required when you are setting your goal.
Yes.
Uh, whether it's a function or it's a money. So if I change the money part now, head of internal audit for 100,000, and the CFO and the CEO remain the same. So you are still going for internal audit. How much money
100,000.
way there?
It depends. Obviously, it depends that what are the needs and how I need to pursue for that. But basically, why I have selected this because it's my passion to be within the internal audit department, and I want to grow within that. So I will prefer to be.
Um, and you are aware of that internal audit is quite it's the traditional internal audit is not the future going forward.
Yes, yes,
It's a very different way of
yes,
internal audit.
yes. Internal audit is has now become very dynamic because risk-based internal audit have made a lot of changes within the
Yeah.
you can say the historic internal audits how they are being working on.
No, so that's important to pick up here that when we talk about the internal audit, we are not talking about the traditional internal audit. It has changed a lot,
Yes,
and
yes,
and we are looking for a head of internal audit position in a multinational. That's been our understanding of the risk and our understanding of really mitigation,
yes,
reporting, and some of the
yes.
skill set which is very specifically required for this kind of
It
job
include
and
the
in the environment
governance
we are
as
looking
well.
for.
Yes, it include
Yeah,
the governance as well and each and every aspect.
yep. No, it's included. Thank you, Fazan. Thank you for sharing that.
No,
Anybody else who want to share? Thank you, Fazan.
thank you.
Can we have? I can see Shebas word there. Shebas, if you can unmute yourself, let's go with your goal first.
Hi, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. So can you first
Sir, yeah, I wanna share a different story. I am
no, no,
currently working
first
in. Uh, yeah,
Shebas, hold on. The
yeah,
question is, what is your goal? So let's start with the goal, so everybody is on the same page, right?
yeah. That's I'm telling briefly. Currently, I am working in Gulf from last 7 years. So from last 1 year, COVID-19 has hit hard. I am working from home as a group finance manager for the same company because you know that in the Gulf or around the
Yep.
globe. business process optimization, outsourcing is on the top rank. So my goal is I am at the juncture of the life where I have to decide right now, should I go with online trading, commerce, e-commerce like Amazon is on the boom, or I have to become a CFO, because I have also started to prepare myself for the CFO role. So my goals are both, but right now I have to make a choice within next 6 months to take that route.
That's fine. So
Yes,
what is your
I want
goal?
to take your advice on that. My goal is to become a CFO after 3 years, because I have started preparing accordingly.
Okay.
Means taking different
CFO
things on that.
in 3 years for what kind of
In,
CFO, which organization, which industry?
in a multinational companies, in any multinational companies, because I have a diversified background from manufacturing and trading, different industries I have over the 9 years experience. So industry does not matter at all, but it is your finance. I think so. It is your financial intellect which can carry you further. What do you say about that?
I'll come back to that. So where you are based right now, Shahbaz?
I'm right now based in Lahore, Pakistan, working from home, right?
Lahore.
As a full-time job also, and also as an independent finance professional, like you can say, freelancing new concept for across the globe, different projects I take usually.
So when you talk about CFO in a multinational versus CFO in a domestic company, what's the difference between the two? Why CFO in a
The difference
multinational?
is the difference is the culture, obnoxious culture, toxic culture. For example, owners do not behave. There is a proper hierarchy. You grow up. You know that you have to take reports and you have to submit reports to a proper structure. If we go to an owner-based culture, there you don't know. There is they are not following uh, plain language, abusive language, and different things I have seen into Faisalabad culture or owner-based culture. That's why I want to make my career in a multinational company which has a proper
That's fine.
governance structure, which has a proper, yeah,
So that's mean the work environment is an important element in consideration. And why
yeah,
CFO?
sure, sure.
Why not CEO? Why not CTO? Why not supply
Uh,
chain head?
uh, bec-
Why
yeah,
CFO?
CEO is the later role, because right now I am at the middle career management level. So I have to
Okay.
first think about CFO, not CEO. Because if I'll go through the CFO role, then I can become a CEO. I think so. This is my opinion. It may be wrong, or you can correct me if I'm
No,
wrong.
no, that's fine. You can take any path. There are multiple paths to your end goals. Uh, Next question. When you talk about CFO multinational, what kind of income level in a dollar term you are talking about? There's a lot of clarity without saying you are sitting in a restaurant. Just
One second, let me. I'm just talking
lot of
about, for
noise.
example, 7-digit salary in the next 3 years. Am I audible now? Clear?
no, you were audible even previously. So you are talking about 7 digits. That's mean we are talking about a million Pak rupees a month. That's what we have as a minimum.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and if that money is available as a finance manager somewhere, would you be able to pick that money? Or you want that money only if it comes with a CEO title?
No, designation does not matter. But if, for example, right now, if I am looking up a job in Pakistan, culture, CFOs or a bigger level, they are getting in my age bracket 31, they are getting set salaries. But if designation does not matter, if I'm getting a good salary, 1 million or more than here. But because I'm back, I'm looking over the jobs. So 500,000, 600,000, and 700, like it was a bracket. I can figure out from the newspapers. I can find it
No,
out.
yeah, it's a good CFO in a multinational is right now in the countries like Pakistan is somewhere like 2.5 to 5 million rupees minimum. They are even higher than
Yeah.
that with the certain benefit structures. Uh, Now, my question is, once you become a CFO, what will happen? How do your life will change?
Roles and responsibilities, for example, will increase automatically. My profile will increase. I have to upgrade myself. I have to deliver value optimizations, or I have to be a chief value officer, because CFO roles are now more converting towards a chief value officer. I have to provide a value to the organizations. I have to think ahead what, for example, technologies are coming, or what our business are facing challenges, and how can I overcome them in the long run.
And why can't you do it today in your current role?
Uh, I'm doing it in current role, but CFO, you know that you have to look after all the operations other than finance, because if you are using a title CFO, it is not only looking for the finance. For example, currently I am a group finance manager, but still I am looking up operation side as well. For example, ERP implementation and then different departments and integrating them. But CFO role is a bit more higher. You have more feasibilities, you have to do the expansions, you have mergers, you have to do different sorts of things in bit higher up to the hierarchy.
Okay. Is there any change you anticipate in your personal life?
Yes, I think after becoming a CFO, or right now.
No, if you become a CFO, so definitely professionally there will be more responsibility, more learning, more exposure. But what will happen in your personal life? You have got more money for disposal.
Yes,
What
I will have a more money. I will become, because over the years, what I am doing after a qualifying ACCA or other, I am keeping myself updated. For new roles, bring new responsibilities, and new challenges bring a new motivations. For me, I will keep financial side is always one thing. Second is you keep yourself updated with the new trends and latest technologies. And third is I will more contribute towards the charitable things to the society, what I have earned, and now return stage will come at that. Still, it is I am returning to the society, but at that level, I will return more to the society.
what about the bigger house, fancy cars, dream travel, vacation with the family, parting with friends?
This is all part of family life. Everyone takes it. Nah, if I'm not yet married due to my career orientation. I first thing I'll do recently I'll get married, and then we'll have enjoy my family life as well.
Okay. My key point is that most of the time when we are talking about our goals, we have to be very
Yeah.
clear what exactly we are talking about. Like if I say that I want to become a head of internal audit or CFO, what exactly it means for me, where my life is changing. Like if you ask me whether I would like to become something, so for me there is a monthly bill for my, I have a life and I need to support that lifestyle. And to support that lifestyle, I need to earn enough to make sure my expenses are paid, and that might include my aspiration to buy maybe a
Uh,
house of 500 yards versus
Sir,
maybe farm
I have
house.
read Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad and Poor Dad, long and ago, and I follow him continuously on a financial discipline. He says that many accountants, even if they are qualified, they are not financially disciplined. So these things is I have followed him. He says that first make an asset, let those assets bear out, foot the bill of your expenses. So my strategy has changed totally from last 1 year. I'm continuously following up. I have to make an asset, so let those assets contribute towards my
Make money.
expenses. I won't go for those things. This is my mentality right now after following Robert Kiyosaki.
I think the important part is Shebhas, and that's for everybody. And we will pick up another one. I can see Arif al Islam there. So I think the important part is to really go dig deep and see that when we are talking about the goal, are we talking about the goal or we are talking about the means which help us to reach to a goal, right? So sometimes my goal is
Oh,
not that I want to become a CFO or CEO or do anything. My goal is to actually, I'm talking about a mean which will help me to earn a different kind of satisfaction, a different status in the society, maybe material success in terms of like what I was talking
sir, I
about.
have a small question towards those goals. Can I ask that in those goals? Can I
So
ask a small question? Because you know that a data science is the order of the day. Right now, I am on the middle level career path. For example, in data science, I am middle level. I'm good. I'm learning Python and different things, Tableau, and I'm very good at an intermediate level right now. Should if I want to become a CFO, should I embed those technology latest trends into my portfolio as a CFO? What do you say? What are your views on those
Uh,
things?
Not as a CFO, but a roadmap towards a CFO. Definitely, you need to earn that. But once you will become a CFO, you will have a team members doing it for you. But having that skill itself is important while you are aiming towards the CFO. You have to acquire that
Yes.
now, not after becoming a CFO.
Yeah. Okay. 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 Okay.
It's
I'm acquiring
important.
that. Just I want to ask that.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a good one. It's a
Thank
good
you for
thing.
your answer.
Thank you,
Thank you
Shehbaz.
for
Thank you for sharing. And if you
thank
can
you.
pick up Ariful Islam. Yeah, if you can pick up from Ariful Islam.
Hi, Sajid. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thanks for giving me the floor. Hopefully, I am audible.
Yeah, yeah, you are.
So, okay. So basically, I want to see my goal from my family perspective because then I will come back to you. So when I see my goal in 10 years time or my vision in 10 years time, I want to have a good family life with a work life balance where I am happy with where I am able to uh, provide a quality life to my family members. At the same time, I am happy with the achievements at work. So for that reason, I have thought about opportunities in my country, and I thought probably it would be better for me to immigrate abroad. And I have already worked. I went quite far about it, and I'm probably uh, I'm hoping to actually move to Canada next year, and for that reason, I've done my CPA, so I will have to start my career from the scratch again. So what I planning from this perspective is that right now I am in the service industry. I'm a country finance manager of a multinational company, so I will have to start from the scratch over there again. But for that reason, I want to upgrade myself, and I will probably, not probably, I am hoping to switch into the digital companies, and I want to actually work for a company. If I'm lucky, I want to work for the top 10 companies in the world in the digital sector. Why? Because I think I can see the market is growing rapidly, and there is unlimited opportunities. So when this happens, that means actually more companies will be giants. The smaller companies will be much bigger in future. So the scope of uh, learning new things and moving fast into higher position would be much easier. At the same time, the type of society in which I will be living if I work in those companies, that would be awesome. And I think that would give me some excellent opportunities to learn about the latest technologies, latest developments in finance, maybe cryptocurrencies, maybe I don't know, but definitely the role will define what I want to actually, which road I will have to go. But in from professional perspective, I want to lead a team of professionals who are highly qualified uh, and in the area of financial planning and in the area of um, financial reporting. It does not necessarily need to be a CFO, but I want to very highly qualified team who actually contribute to achieve great things.
Thank you,
I
Arif.
think that's
Thank you.
my 10 years goal actually. So
Thank you, Arif. So where you are based right now, Arif?
I'm from Bangladesh.
Bangladesh. Thank you, Arif. So if I summarize that, so because a lot of people may not be able to really follow that, I can see a lot of people were typing at the same time. So I think from your side, the goal is very clear that you want to have a certain quality life for your family. You have achieved a certain level. So in a journey, next level, you have decided to move abroad and you are okay, you have courage enough to start from a scratch and rebuild it in a certain areas, which include the financial planning side of it, and that you want to head that team which is working on a more strategy and the planning and
Yes,
the CN support side, right?
that's correct.
Right. Great. Thank you. I think there's a something which for all of us has to learn there. If you look at that, the why RF is looking for a change or why that goal is important, because there's a quality of family life. That's what is an important one. That's a very personal thing which is highly motivated. That why I have to take that step. Second part, after evaluating the different options, Arif has set a goal that he wants to stay and or work abroad and move the family abroad. Quality of life and given the opportunity. And very clear that which area he's really want to work. It's a financial planning, decision support, and more on a strategy side, and enough courage to challenge himself and redo the or start the life again from scratch, because the why is very strong. The quality life for family, that's a very very strong why most of the time, particularly in a South Asian culture where the family is the one which is a typical a very very driven part, and most of the time we forget about ourselves and everything is around the family and the family needs. So I think that's a very good example of why, what, and why is important once you are setting the goal. Thank you, Arif, for sharing. I think there is a lot of learning and there are a lot of
Sajid,
questions coming up.
in the last session, you were asking why I did CPA. So this is why
Yep,
actually I did CPA
I
because
got it.
after I got the invitation, I got my CPA because I thought that would be the best thing to do right at that moment. And you may know that actually the MOU is not no longer available, so I had to
Yeah,
take that
it's
last year.
unfortunate.
Yeah, thank you.
But you know, ACCA Canada is still there to support that one once you land there, so they would be able to help you there as well.
Yes, yes. So over there, I will have two bodies to support me now if I get everything done.
Thanks.
So yeah,
No, best of luck. Best
thank
of
you.
luck. Just picking up on again uh, on the different areas. I think there are a couple of people who made that comment that the personal satisfaction, how important it is, the personal gain, and let me pick up from uh, Shakil Ali, summarizing for myself, goal is what the position or milestone, and the why is the purpose or the impact of the goal. What and why are part and the parcel of the goal setting. Yes, Shakil, that's right. Then there's another one which was talking about uh, like Abdul Basit Gondal. I would love this one. My goal is to be disciplined in my morning workouts so that to be more physically and mentally strong in the next 3 to 5 months. Uh, by be religious in my workouts. So become more religiously following that workout routine. So definitely this could be a one very very strong goal. Now these are the kind of goals, these are not the means, right? So workout is the mean, and getting to the physical and mental strength is something which is as an outcome. So I think the one challenge which normally I face, and I give you that challenging question, when you talk about that you want to attain a certain position, right? That position never gives you a satisfaction. Most of the time we are assuming that, and I'm using a very generic one, and it's not situation could be different for different people. Most of the time there is an assumption that if I become a CFO or head of internal audit or CEO, there are certain perks and benefit which will flow in, and those perks and benefit I'm assuming will help me to have a more financial securities and fulfill my dreams in terms of like house, vacations, cars. There could be any material needs which you want to fulfill, or even having a quality life for the family which you can buy, the things which you can buy for money. And definitely there are a lot of things which you can't buy for money, and then you have to really spend quality time with the family on the other side. Health is another area which you can't buy, so you really have to take care of that otherwise. So you have to be very clear while you are setting a goal. Don't get carried away with the means. So dig deeper and figure out that is it exactly what you want, or is it something you are assuming the perks which are associated with that goal will flow in, and that's what you want to achieve. Because then there could be 10 different ways. Like if somebody wants to really go on a world tour, there's a one way they can come up. They want to become a CEO of a travel agency, or they want to really earn enough money so they can afford that travel. But I have seen people traveling with no money, and they have traveled like a lot of countries, or they have went out for the world tour, but they planned it totally differently. So if your aim is a world tour, then don't look at the means and lock it there. Your aim is a world tour, you want to travel, and then there could be different how parts. If you set the goal that you want to become a CEO with the assumption that you will be able to have a travel opportunity, you might become a CEO without the travel opportunity. So what you're going to do? So if your goal is very clear, then definitely there are other ways to look at that. So let's take 2-3 minutes break, and meanwhile I would encourage everybody to review your goal again and see how you can improve that, and where you can figure out that whether it's your goal or whether it's a mean and your goal is bigger than that. So I can see Dinuki Jinnadasa. Uh, Apologies for wrong pronunciation. My goal is mainly a financial one. I want to achieve a certain net worth. The main reason for this is to provide a comfortable life for my family. I think that's a very strong one. You just have to put the right net worth, that at by when, how much net worth you want to attain. So I think that's a very specific one with a strong why and a very clear view around it, right? So let's take 2-3 minutes break, and meanwhile, if you can keep bringing those goals and milestones out. Okay, guys, we are back. I haven't seen many people really. I haven't seen many new statements coming out. I think discipline and the balance is a very, very strong why, but it can't be a goal itself. That discipline and a balance should lead to something else, right? Like it should bring more strength to your mental or physical strength. That may lead to a better decision making, better financial gains. So I think it's important that you really challenge yourself when you are writing or delivering a goal. Uh, what is why, what is what, and where is the how part, right? So you have to really structure that in a way, why you want to do it, what what you will deliver as an end, and how you're going to do that one. So it's a very, very strong statement when you start with why. Ghulam Farid, yeah. Oh, I thought you raised your hand earlier. You are self-muted, Ghulam Farid. You can unmute yourself.
Thank you, sir. Actually, I want to discuss this my what and why, and I really want to discuss my goal with you and want to take your opinion on it. Actually, my goal is I want to see myself in 5 years' time to be an entrepreneur, a businessman. Because since after my matriculation, I'm out from my hometown. I completed my study staying away from hometown. Now I'm having job in abroad, and my family is still in Pakistan, and I really want to settle down eventually in my hometown by having my own business. For this one, I'm considering some distributions for cosmetic products in 5 years times. And right now I'm having a job already, so I'm just securing some amount of capital and I'm investing in Pakistan in real estate. So whenever I return back, so I can realize this capital to pursue for this distribution setups and some sort of commodities. In our hometown, I have an opportunity. I can buy some seasonal crops from the farmers, and I can sell them in different markets. So I'm looking for this kind of entrepreneurial experience in 5 years time, and eventually I want to settle down with my family, so I can enjoy my family life with my kids, so I can go out for tours, I can spend a lot of time with my babies, which eventually right now I'm missing this. Right now, I'm working in a company which is it's just very on scratch. It's a copper cable manufacturing. They are in the construction phase, still yet to be in 1 year. They are gonna start their commercial production. So I'm just looking in 5 years time, whatever designation I will earn over here and whatever financial benefits I will earn here, eventually I want to go back to my hometown to start up my own business.
And Ghulam Farid, where you are right now?
Right now, so I'm in Kurdistan.
Kurdistan. Okay, thank you. So if I just pick up, let me rephrase that and let's structure that. So your why, you want to achieve a certain goal because your end goal, or at least the milestone you want to achieve, you want to come back to Pakistan and live with your family. Is it right?
Yes,
This is
yes,
your
yes,
why.
of course. Uh,
What you want to do, you want to achieve it via a business, right? Of
yes,
distribution of cosmetic or commodities, or there could be two or three different options,
yes,
right? And how you want to do that, you are right now you are in a phase of raising capital or accumulating certain capital and investing that, so you can use that capital to run the business so you can live with your family. Is it right?
yes, yes,
I
yes,
think, yeah. No, I think it's a very, very strong why there. There was a question from Saida Asif as well. What is the right sequence? The right sequence for me is always between what and why. You have to circle back again and again. It's not that why you want to achieve it. Sometimes it starts with what, and then you question why. And sometimes you are very, very clear with why. Like Ghulam Farid is he has a reason. He spent most of his time away from the family. His why is very strong. He want to go back and live with the family. What he want to do to achieve that, he want to get into the business, so it has a more flexibility. And then how he's really want to get there, he's trying to accumulate cash for that or capital. Right path, wrong path could be different, but just look at the goal. So it has a very clear why. It says what they really want to do, and how part as well, that how he's preparing himself to really get into that business. So coming back to your question, Saida Asif, thank you, Ghulam. Thank you, Ghulam Farid, for sharing
Thank you,
that.
sir. Thank you.
And Saida Asif, whether we should be talking about why first or what first. So I think these both goes hands in hand. So you go with what and you challenge the what with whys, or you start with whys and you challenge it with what. How part is the one which comes later, right? Because how are the options to achieve something which you are very passionate to achieve, right? So what you want to achieve and why you want to achieve that. These are the important questions. So you want to, like in case of Ghulam Farid, he want to achieve a financial independence because he wants to live with the family. So whether that why he wants to live with the family, that's why he needs that financial independence in the business, or it's a financial independence because he wants to live with the family. So that goes hands in hand, but ultimately you will figure it out. The one thing which you need to do later is a how part. So I think that's where it will bring more options once you start looking at the how part. If we can have Wakas Askar, yeah, Wakas, you can unmute yourself. Yeah, Wakas is gone. Okay, thank you. I think there's another one. Sarah Kafur. My 2-year goal is to focus on expanding my knowledge in various industries and related field in order to truly identify a career that can align with my passion for travel and improve my financial status for myself and my family. So I think it may not have a very specific numbers there, but if we structure again from a goal perspective, so it's starting with a how part. By expanding knowledge in a various industries and related field in order to truly identify the career that can give that is aligned with my passion for travel and improve my financial status for myself. So the why part is travel, financial status, family. These are all the why part. That why she wants to identify a career and how she is going to get that career by expanding the knowledge base. So right now she haven't decided if I'm using the right terminology. So she hasn't decided about the career what she wants to be in, but she's exploring different option. And the 2-year goal is to make that first decision that what is the right kind of career, which helps her to really go for the passion of travel and have those financial independence and for herself and for the family. Sarah, is it the right articulation? So although you started with the how, but you have got the structure more or less got all the other elements. Shakil Ali is talking about, can we add how after what and why? Yes, that's the best structure if we can look at that. So if you can figure out what and why, then we can go for how part. Sarah,
Hello.
if you can
Hi.
raise your yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm unmuted now.
Yeah.
So I guess, Mr. Sajid, that's pretty much that is correct. I have an idea of the career path I'd like to take. So so less of a CFO, more of a CEO, to be very honest. So that is somebody not the focus is not necessarily core finance itself, but broaden the scope where operational aspects also can be considered. So having said that, those are things that I'm still exploring, and I mean, if you look at the industry today, or if you look at any industry today, you see a lot of jobs that were never there 5 years ago or 10 years ago. And I think those are really, as much as those are exciting and interesting jobs, those are also high-paying jobs. So at the moment, I'm actually in that path where I decided for myself instead of, I mean, I am, it's confusing sometimes, but maybe I can take the next year or two to look into those options. And everything I study, I'm trying to consider it sort of like a reinvestment in myself, with a return on investment sort of thinking. So that's correct. That's basically where I am.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you very much. I think that's a one way to start looking at that. Rather than setting a goal, you set your goal, that how you will set the goal, right? So I think that's another way to look at things. So but definitely you can't come up with that I have a 10-year goal that I'll figure out that what I'm going to do with or for my life, right? So but you can take a gap years concept. You can really research in a different multiple ways and figure out that what is best suited, particularly in the environment which is changing a lot, like the COVID and the technology, the way it's happening right now. Uh, so thank you very much for sharing. I think that's a. I hope that's we are trying to bring clarity in terms of the goal setting and particularly in terms of the what and why area. I'll come back to a couple of other questions with the what and why. Uh, but thank you very much. There's a one comment made that the social welfare or the well-being is not coming out as a very strong goal for someone right now. Generally, when we are talking to the group which is under 30, that's generally the ACCA member in the South Asia region. When we are looking at that, their average age is under 30. So I think for them, the primary goal is to build their own career before they start coming back to giving something back to the society. But we have heard that in a couple of conversations where people started talking about that they want to achieve something and start giving it back to the society as well. So I think that those were the conversation. But if you are talking to somebody with the age of 40, 50, accomplished, who have already got a stable career, I think there you will be talking about more the social well-being of others and the welfare side of it. But I think the age stage which we will see here, and Harun can guide us better, the average age which we are looking at here right now, it's more focused on their own career path, which is totally okay. Uh, I think there's another interesting comment I would pick up, and I'll come back. Uh, I think it's made by Muhammad Suleiman Simab, that Muhammad Suleiman has studied most of the time in a public sector, and apart from ACCA, that's something which he has studied privately. So intend to prepare for the competitive exams and work in a public sector to make sure that the public sector can be fixed properly, or they can have a right kind of reforms which can really help, if I translate it into, to deliver a better citizen services and the value for the citizens. So I think that's another way to look at that. Sometimes we miss out that there's a big career itself within the public sector. It seemed a little difficult. It may not be very well paid in some countries, but in some countries it's very well paid. So I think that's another area which is worth looking at, and which requires certain professionals, particularly from a finance and accounting, if we are looking at the PFM reform side. Muhammad Arsalan Naseem, obviously giving back is one of the primary target and goal. I think I wouldn't say that for any young person, I would expect that as a starting point. uh, I remember, if you remember that, even in an aeroplane, if you're traveling somewhere, when there is a certain turbulence, the first thing they say, put the oxygen mask on your own nose and mouth first before start helping others. So I think you have to attain a certain level to really start giving something back. First, you have to attain that. So there's the concept has to be there that you want to help other, and whenever you get a chance you should. But I think where you are right now, first you have to really secure a certain career for yourself or a career path for yourself. It could be a financial gain, or it could be a pathway towards spiritual gain, but you have to really define your paths for yourself and get clarity before you start helping others. Otherwise, if you are in a state of confusion, you will just can pass on a state of confusion. If you are in a state of certainty, you can bring more hope and certainty for others. So I think that's how this overall equation works, at least for me. So I'm sure there are a lot of people may have a different view, so we are happy to hear about that. Just a question. my target is to make different at least one life. Yeah, I think Tamila Hassan. So I think that's a very interesting part, that wherever you are setting a goal, even a longer term, you have to come up that it's not about making a difference in the society, it's making a difference in one life, and that life can help you to change another one, and that's where the domino impact may come over. So don't try to really target that everybody has to build a hospital or an education institute. Just helping somebody, a one single individual, to attain a right kind of education, or really have access to the right kind of healthcare, I think that's sometimes good enough. At least that should be a bare minimum target, if not higher. uh, how important it is to link the goal with the financial gain, and you all are under 40 years of age. How much important it is to have a financial independence, financial security, uh, or financial gains. Muhammad Suleiman Sima, red and orange flags. You are talking about within the question one, priorities. So these questions will be picked up later as well. So I'll give you 5 minutes, just a 5 minute thing. Think about how much it, how important it is to have a financial security or financial sustainability or financial independence. No, answer say that answer could be very simple, that the financial security is important versus what? When we say how, so it has to be compared with something else. So financial security versus what? And keeping in mind, we are talking about people who are 30, under 40, 35, early stage, mid stage of career most of the time. So 5 minutes, we will come back. So financial security versus what? How important it is versus what? Okay, so I have seen most of the comments are in the favor of that. The financial security, stability is very, very important. And what provides you the financial stability or security? Financial security is the mental peace and feeling of confidence. Uh, Quab came back with pesa. Okay. What provides you the financial security? Okay, so we have established that in journal that it's important, but what provides you a financial independence or financial security? Good pay and assets which earn for us. Okay, pay and assets, career and skills, courage to make change, a mean to take decision of one, yeah, means to take decision, monetary benefits, stable source of income. Okay, let me take that example somewhere else. Now we are talking about the, we have established that the financial security is an important element. Financial security can be attained with the pay, salaries and assets, with a certain skill, courage to make difference. It provides you the means to make decisions, uh, monetary benefits, stable source of income. Let's pick up the stable source of income as a key component for the financial security, because it's a closer to that. Once we talk about the financial security, it's not that what you are earning today. It's basically the stability and the confidence that you have got a source of income whenever you want to draw on that, whether it's your current job, whether it's your assets, whether it's your own ability, or whether it's your own brand, right? So there could be a lot of other things. Mir Zulfikar, when will we start other content of the program like taxation, MS Office? That's at least 10 to 20 hours away, right? Unless until we get the mindset right. MS Office you can pick up from the YouTube as well. Interview preparation is available on ACCA Career. So if you really want to pick up that right now, there are resources which are available right now. And you might not have to really wait for that. So let's focus on what we are trying to achieve here. It's how we think. It's not about how we are going to do things. It's how we think, because once you change the thought process and the mindset, that's where the life starts. A stable source of income. And if we go with a stable source of income, it doesn't come with your current job or your any job, because you can lose job anytime. Basically, it's bring more insecurities. And just to, again, it's not very specific, but taking it to the level, the way you are earning adjust, your expenses adjust accordingly. If you are earning, let's say $100 today, you will be spending $100. You have a plan for $100 spending. Tomorrow, if you start having $1,000, in a 6 months time, your lifestyle will be readjusted and you might be spending that $1,000. There are people who are very financially disciplined and they will continue with their $100 and they will keep that $900 as an investment. But most of the people will start readjusting their lifestyle and they will start consuming that $1,000. So with the change, and it will bring more insecurity, because once you change your lifestyle, it doesn't bring the financial security, it's bring the financial insecurity. Because if it's coming from a salary side, you always have fear that if you lose the job, or tomorrow if your employer asks you to leave, you will lose everything. Assets are also a good example, and assets are even the better example because you own those yourself. Unless until you sell it or you dispose it off or it's a bad decision, your assets will help you to earn that. But the biggest asset which you really earn in your life is your own brand, who you are, how you really invest in your abilities, how people see you as a part of a solution. So if they have any problem, whether it's your employer or a client, if they have a problem, you are their go-to person, and you charge premium because there is a level of confidence that you are the one who can solve the problem. So the most important thing in your life, once you really want to become financial independent, it's you have to invest in yourself. You have to start looking at your own abilities. It can start with a very small scale of Excel, and it can go to a very complex strategy games or strategic plannings or a cross-border strategic planning, I would say. So I think those are the things. It's your ability, and then it's not about your ability alone. It's how you let the people know about your ability, how you create that evidence, how you create that network which propagate that this is the brand of X person, and if you have a problem, go and talk to the person, right? So it's your brand first. You should have that ability, and the rest of the people should know that you have got that ability, and there should be more people endorsing that you have got that ability. So you should have evidences for that. So yes, Shakil Ali mentioned that marketing of the skill. So it's a marketing of yourself. So how you really appear on the uh, public forums, public speaking, media, your social network, your LinkedIn profile, the way you interact with people, the way you really participate in the networking events. So I think all those things become important, and that's bring that financial security that you can leave a one job and you can start another one. You can leave a one client and there will be 10 clients waiting for you because you have built your brand right. So the most important thing, if you want to attain that financial independence and the financial security, is to independently invest in yourself and make sure that it's not investment going in yourself alone. There's an investment going in marketing of that skill set or a marketing of your brand as a very specific solution provider. So if we are setting the goal, I think the biggest goal we have as an individual, as a professional, is to attain all those skills and become someone who carries that brand, and that brand which is becoming your asset and help you to really, and that brand basically has become your asset. Like somebody was talking about, I think Ghulam Fareed was talking about the poor dad and the rich dad. So this brand is your asset which will keep bringing you the money, and you don't have to work hard for that. It's your brand, it's your ability, your capability, and how people know about it. It's the missing link most of the time. It's people acquire the skill which nobody knows. People are solving very, very complex problem, but they are not marketed enough to really create their own personal brand. But you will see similarly, the people may not have the equivalent qualities which you may have, but their marketing and the brand is very strong within the organization or outside the organization, and they are able to earn better even with the lower skill set or with the lesser ability. Marketing is an important element, branding is an important element. So that's why when we were talking about 30-second introduction, that's where you really create your brands. That's where you really market your what you can deliver as a value, not what you have done in past and what is your designation, but what the value you can bring to the table, and then how that value can be really substantiated by a different networks, social networks, or your physical networks, or your professional settings or your personal settings. So people should know you because of your brand. So that's an important element. So if you need a financial security, again, going back to that, which is important, it should be a part of your goals somehow, somewhere. But the most important thing, how you are going to achieve that through a job, through a business, or through developing a personal brand, which can translate into money as and when you require, not dependent on some employer, not dependent on the client. So let's think about that, absorb that, and let's see some reflection in your question tabs. And if anybody wants to share something, we can unmute that. So financial stability via your personal brand, that's the key subject. So anybody who wants to share anything? Uh, Shehbaz Server is talking about, do you advise to do personal branding, or it would be like bragging about oneself? If you ask my advice, Shehbaz, I would say hire an agency, pay them a certain amount to help you build the brand. So I go up to that level. So it's not about bragging about yourself. It's an important element that you build your brand, and that brings certain stability. Increasing assets, not liability, definitely. Arslan mentioned that one. When you have a stable source of income, you can focus on your personal and the skill development. I think it works otherwise as well, Mir Zulfikar. If you have if you focus on your personal skills and development, it's create a stable income sources at the same time. So let's see some reflection. I would like some people to raise hand and we can ask them to participate. And we will encourage people, new people, to come in. We are seeing normally the same people participating. We encourage other people. Harun, if you are there, you can pick up some names as well.
Sure, I'm looking at this.
I think there's a statement from Dinuki that everybody, and I totally agree with that. Everybody is there who is here today. They have taken that initiative to really invest in themselves and learn how to build that brand. So definitely, very very factually true statement. There were 1,800 people, and we can see somewhere like 120 people who are actively participating right now. So rest of the people are not investing in themselves. They are not seeing a value in building their own brand. So Uzair Siddiqui, yeah, everybody is a brand. It's just that you have to let other people know about it. Ghulam Farid, premium subscriptions are a one way, but you have to have a substance, the content to market yourself. You can't base it on something which doesn't exist. So it has to be very specific, based on your own content, which can be substantiated. We can see one hand here. Prasana. You can unmute yourself, Prasana. Prasanna Indrajit, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, Prasanna is self-muted.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello.
Prasanna, we can hear you.
Yeah.
We can hear
Okay.
you.
I would like to share some of the things that I do at my level. With regard to personal planning, I have my own budget, which I generally do towards September, for the next financial year, and I plan my all income, right, based on the current levels of income that I'm getting, and I plan all my expenses, and so that I maintain my financial discipline in that way.
Indrajit, I didn't get the last one. You said
I maintain my financial disciplines by having my own budget, and so that it would help me to plan my activities better.
no, definitely. I think that's important. Once you get to the age where you start earning, I think that financial discipline is a very important element. Really plan it well. Why? And when you are spending money, you have to ask yourself twice why it's really
Correct.
needed, how it's going to change your life.
Because if we can do our own financial planning for our own companies, I think we need to start it at our level. And because if we don't have financial discipline, we can't expect to practice that at the same thing for our companies, right?
Yeah, definitely, definitely,
Thank you.
definitely. Thank you, Indrajit. Thank you for sharing. And if we can invite Saida Asif, I think she made a very strong point here, if I'm reading it right. So Saida Asif, if you can come and share your view. We can't hear you very clearly, but if you can make an attempt again. No, I think you don't have a very stable internet right now. But let me read it on your behalf, and let's see, meanwhile, if you can have a stable internet. So Saida Asif, she came up with that, how to brand yourself. I find it so relatable when once you started your journey together and now you see your peers have become something and you question what they have done right that I did not. So yes, we do need to learn about uh, how to brand ourselves. So thank you, Sid. I think that's important. It's not only while you are comparing yourself with others. Uh, it's also when you are in your goal setting, when you are trying to figure out your how part. This is a very important how part. So if you want to achieve something, that's your what. Why you want to achieve, that's your purpose. How you want to achieve it, that's also include a certain branding aspect of it. And most of the time, accountants typically miss out on that. That anything you are doing today is not going to stay there forever. You have to move on, even within the organization. If you want to really progress vertically, you need to have a right kind of brand. The person who has got a right kind of behavior, the person who is more socially engaged, the person who is delivering a high value. So I think it's a, and that's not that you are doing it. You people should know about it that you are doing it, and people should be talking about it. So once there is an opportunity, the first name they should come to their mind is you. If even within the organization, that personal branding is an important element, and the personal branding takes effort. It doesn't come automatically. So you have to really plan that one, and you can't just expect that because you are doing a great work and it will lead you somewhere. That branding is an important element because that's when the people are taking decision. They might not have a work in front of them, they will have a reputation in front of them. So you have to earn that kind of reputation, and that reputation need to be revalidated through your work, and that should be re-emphasized through your marketing or branding opportunities. So it's an important element. Don't underestimate the value of a brand. Everybody can reach to a certain level without branding it, but beyond that certain level, when we talk about the C-level jobs, that's not about the technical skill, that's about your reputation, your brand, and your soft skill side of it. So if you want people who have an aspiration to become part of a C-suite, or they want to become a head of internal audit or CFO, I think they have to start looking at the branding side, how well they are in terms of their own network, their personal and professional brand, all those things like 30-second introduction, your digital footprint, your social media presence, your physical interaction with people, how you meet and greet people, how much time you spend every week to create a new networks or to really create new friends. So all those are important elements for you. It's an effort for an accountant. Sometimes it's quite an effort, but I think it's an important effort. So I think I'll hold here, and we open the session for any question marks, any questions or any reflections you want to bring out. So just to summarize what we discussed the goal, and we tried to came up with the what, why, and how. Then we talked about whether the financial stability, and then we talked about that we have to be very clear whether it's a goal or it's a mean, and we are assuming that if we achieve that goal, it automatically really delivered that what we are assuming as an outcome. For example, if you become a CFO or CEO, it automatically mean a world travel. No, it's not. So if you are talking about the world travel, then you have to talk about that as a goal, and then you have to figure out that how you're going to achieve that. There are multiple means to get there, so not the position only. Then we talked about the financial stability and importance of it. So most of the people came back as expected, and that's true. It's a very, very important area. And there are different ways to achieve that financial stability. One of the strongest and most stable way is you become an asset for yourself. So you create your own brand, so and your reputation. So losing a job and losing a physical asset doesn't mean anything. You can recreate it anytime, whenever you want, because of that strong reputation and the brand you have built based on the substance and the marketing skills both putting together. So that's here we close, and we are open for question. Any advice, you can put it in a question mark. You can raise your hand, and we can unmute you, and we can help you to really participate in that. Sani Hadi. Uh, yeah, we can see Zahid Iqbal. Zahid, you can unmute yourself.
Hello, hi sir. Good
Hi.
evening to everybody. Thank you very much for today's session. It was really fruitful and it's about building your image in front of your colleagues. Nowadays, the things are becoming more and more simple, I would say, in the organizations because of the use of technology and technological advancements have made complex processes much simpler and the organizations are becoming leaner and leaner. COVID has impacted the job market. I would say definitely it has done it so like that, and also has become a bit challenge for the employees who are working in the organizations. Like before, we used to work 10 hours a day, and now it's you can work anytime because are at home. So my question would be a small one that in current scenario where technology has changed the way we do business right now. Opportunities are becoming scarce. Your individual brand image is really important, I would say, and the good thing about it is it's available and accessible to everybody. So that area should be improved, but with a lot of people who are well trained and well equipped, and the shortage of supply of job market currently that we are experiencing, the brand image is like okay, it should be there, but it's not something that you can leverage your employer to say that okay, you should be retained and who should be left out from the organizations, because by the name of restructuring we have experienced a lot of restructuring over the last 3 5 years. It has becoming a norm every year. The more higher you go up the ladder, you will face challenges of being restructured or being let go and replaced by maybe 2 people, 3 people because of the job market current scenario. So that is a small question I might take on today's session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Zaid. So just highlight that where you are based
I'm based in Pakistan, in
in
Islamabad.
Pakistan. The first thing is that with the technology, the number of opportunities has gone up, and particularly if we are talking about Pakistan and rest of the world at the same time, they are facing a strong shortage of talent. I'm not saying the head count; it's a talent which is missing right now. Most of the people who are available for the job are not suitable for the job. The people who are suitable for the job, people are paying them double or triple the salary of the market just to retain them. Retention is becoming an issue. I'm not sure if you have seen the something which is called the Great Resignation as a one of our. Just try to Google it. What's happening around the world, and we are seeing the same thing where the people are resigning from the job and they are starting their own business because they find more value there, and employers are trying to
Mhm.
provide them more and more salaries and the benefit to retain that kind of talent, which has got that kind of drive, inner drive, and everything. If you look at the career navigator again, so you will find a certain behaviors and a certain kind of skills which are important. Everybody has got their own experiences, and their experiences build their own facts. But if you look at the global facts and the numbers, that might be a little bit different in terms of the opportunity. The first thing, the opportunity which is available. Zahid, if you can put yourself on mute, I think we can hear a lot of background noise. Thank you. So just going back to that key area again, if we are looking at the digital side, so right now something which was limited to Islamabad as a one of opportunity for you, Zahid. Right now you can work anywhere in the world using a remote working opportunity. Does it mean there are more opportunities? Yes, there are more opportunities. Does it mean that there's a more competition? Yes, there is a more competition, but it's a more jobs which are pursuing by more people. So proportionately, you are not worse off, you are better off because you are looking at the jobs where you can offer us a different competitive advantages while you are sitting in a South Asia or Pakistan at the same time. Whether you have got a right kind of skill set to really look at the sales or a business development for your own skills or a brand building from your own skill, that's a key question. Whether that brand image is important before you get a job or you get a job and then you build a brand image, the brand image is being built on an everyday basis. Every uh, every time you are living a day, you are building your brand. So just make sure you are building the right kind of brand. So there's a more opportunities out there for the people who have got a suitable skill set, and those skill sets are relevant for a certain job. So let's say if I'm selling shoes and I'm trying to build a brand of those shoes among the people who are going to buy the car, so it's an irrelevant equation. So if I'm trying to sell a shoes, then I have to look for the people who are buying the shoes, so their brands are in a different category. So if you are in a financial services, you have to build the brand like a financial services. If you are in a fintech and you want to build that one, then the brand need to be built in a similar way. If you build a brand of a public sector professional, that brand cannot be sold in a fintech environment, right? So you have to really see that which target market you are aiming for, and then you build the brand accordingly. And that there has to be a substance. It can't be just a marketing gimmick that may survive for one or two times, but that will backfire. So building a brand is important because the number of opportunities are higher, and the number of opportunities are beyond your current physical network. That's because of the technology. So you have access to the larger market. So it's important that you can go and really access that larger market. But to access that larger market, you have to have a right kind of brand there. Otherwise, you are competing with the people who have a brand. And if your brand is not visible, you may not be able to sell it. So again, there is a major challenge in terms of the talent acquisition. There are a lot of people who are available, but not suitable for the type of jobs which are available out there. So that's a long answer to your short question. Brand is an important element because the life is becoming competitive. So you have to see what brand you want to build for what niche market. Design.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Zahra Aziz is saying that the personal brand is not the same for every professional, especially if we are consultant internal auditors. So apart from showing up in the network, sticking to a peer group, how personal branding can help auditor if someone served as CI. Personal branding has got like writing article, really expressing your views beyond your professional network is important. The people beyond your own physical or professional network, they should understand that you exist. You can't just show up in a one fine morning in a certain professional network which never knew about you. So they will not be able to recognize or admit you there. So you have to keep building that network. You keep showing up in a different if you don't want to really go in a network, physical network or a social network, then your work should be visible there. People should be able to relate a certain success with you or certain value with you. So that's an important element. But there are all type of people. There are people who are very comfortable with having to become a public figure. There are people who may not be. So, but building your brand again, it's important that who you are and what you really want to achieve. If you really want to get that financial stability and independence, so it's not coming from the jobs and the assets and the client. It always comes from your personal brand. And the stronger your brand is, the more financial stability you have. There's a question from Dinuki. Do endorsement on a LinkedIn help building brand? Can you provide some example of how we can sell out brand to people we don't know or work with? It's not about you have worked with somebody or you know somebody. It's what work you have done. I think that in a social media, there's always an opportunity to showcase through a different post. and you can really take it to the people you don't know or people who don't know you, and you can show them what kind of value you have generated for anyone, and this couple of endorsement, and that will help you to really tap into the new network with the people you never knew. So it's not the people you work with, it's actually your work itself. What I think is branding is done by considering the type of public diversification in the branding is also important. I think it's always important that it has to be a diverse brand. You might have heard of one term, we all like-minded people get together and they think. The like-minded people can't get together and think because they are like-minded. They will think in one direction. Unless until there is a diversity, nobody is going to challenge each other. So that diversity is important. And similarly, if there's a like-minded people talking about you in a one way, and there's another group which is not talking about you in a similar way, it's an issue. So that diversification of people within your network who can help you or challenge you or endorse you, I think those are the people which are the right kind of friends or network you are carrying with yourself. So I think it's important that we look at the diversification, that who we are, and then there are multiple people who are talking about it. Then itself, everybody should not be endorsing a one skill set that you are very great in terms of strategy. They should be talking about your behavior. They should be talking about your managerial skills or a people skill type of stuff. So I think those are also the important element to really think about in terms of diversification. And here, Zara Aziz, you mentioned the CIA. I'm talking about the internal audit qualification, not the Central Intelligence Agency of US, right? So I think those are the people who may avoid the branding and the public appearances, but anybody who is a certified internal auditor, they are totally okay to appear in public and build their brand. Thank you, guys. Thank you for participating today. I think you might find some value in the conversation. I know there's a lot of temptation. How can we get into the Excel and the analytics and some of the very how-to skill type of area? That's very, very natural. But unless until we get in the right mindset, we will not be able to even use the Excel in a right way. So right mindset guides you to get things in the right way. So over to you, Harun. Thank you very much. And before I leave, I think I would love to share people love myself. We should hug ourselves and love ourselves. Can we do it once? I
All
love
right.
me,
I love.
right? So it's important that every day you revalidate that. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Over to you, Harun.
Thank you very much, Ajit. Thanks a lot. Excellent session. Goal setting, personal brand building. I think very valuable discussion. And for the most important part, as we previously discussed also, your mindset takes precedence. Your mindset takes priority. Skill set and tool set can very easily follow. And once the mindset is in place, everything else follows. So very quickly, just picking up on a few conversations earlier on the session, a few people were asking that they didn't know about the Friday session. They didn't know about, they didn't have the link to join. So if you can very kindly take out that email that I had sent you in which there was this invitation to the GoToWebinar sessions, there was a complete detail on the unmoderated sessions as well. So if you look at that email, at the bottom there's a separate link given for the unmoderated sessions. And I think there were about 50 or 60 individuals who joined the the unmoderated session on Friday. So remember one thing: all the members, your sessions are taking place on Mondays and Wednesdays, and these are the moderated sessions. And on Fridays, there are unmoderated sessions taking place. The invitations to both these categories of sessions are in that same email, and I'd requested you to keep that email safe for the duration of that course. So please have a look at that, and don't miss out on the sessions, particularly the ones on Saturdays. you're not maintaining a recording of the sessions on on Fridays, not Saturdays. Saturday is the other session. Fridays, yes. So we are not maintaining recordings. We are keeping recordings of the moderated sessions, yes. So so please take care of that. Those sessions on Friday are actually meant to give you people exposure. I still see that, out of about 150, 60 individuals who attended today's session, some left early, but about 110 attended throughout. A lot of people are not speaking up. A lot of people are only making comments. Some are not even making comments. So remember, the benefit of this program is directly proportional to the effort you're putting in. It is directly proportional to how much thought that is going into the program, how much energy you're putting in, right? So be mindful of that fact, and I would say participate as much as you can. We should see a lot of hand raises. We should find it difficult to choose who to select for discussion. Right now, there are only about 3 or 4 people at a time who raise hands. So I think these are excellent opportunities. But then, like I said, Fridays are your days. If I very quickly say to you, the session, I mean, there were 2 unmoderated sessions, one by the members and one by the future members. I think the one by the future members was very, very nicely conducted, and that's setting the competition tough for all the members there. So I would rather next time be noticing much improvement in the way the session was handled in the process of selection of your leader for the session. So thank you very much. I think with that we come to an end. There was another question about WhatsApp groups. So just as our phone contact or phone number is sorted out for member affairs, the WhatsApp group will be set up. And just as that group is set up, we'll share the joining link with you over here. I think you will not have to wait till the next session even. It'll most probably be set or done tomorrow. So once created, we will send you the invitation link to the WhatsApp group tomorrow. And we will also, in the session day after tomorrow, we will send you, we will share the joining link with you in that session as well. Okay, I think that's all about it. Thank you very much. Thank you for enjoying this session. Thank you very much for all the thoughts, the comments that you've made, and have a very nice evening. Thank you very much. And thank you, Feroz, as well. Feroz has been raising all those red and green and amber flags and highlighting your comments. So thank you very much, Feroz, as well. Thanks and take care. Bye-bye.